Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends. Do not adjust your sets if you are watching us live. It is Wednesday. It is not Thursday. We have come a day early because tomorrow night we are at the FCA Awards. You never know. Picking up a trophy, but at the very least, having a few beers and celebrating the success that we've all delivered for the platform this year. A bit more on that later. But if you're watching this on catch up because you didn't quite know where we were going live on the Wednesday, not the Thursday, hello, don't forget to hit subscribe and share to all your friends. Even if you're watching this live and you know a town fan that doesn't watch us yet, well, give them the best gift. It's not Christmas just yet, but give them the best gift you possibly can. Reshare it, give it to them, send it to them, tag them in it, whatever it needs to be, because they need to see Talking Town, the platform for fans, by fans of Talking Town. It's a busy, active chat at the moment, which I absolutely love and adore. I love an active chat, even if I can't keep up with it at times. Got A Spaghetti, always great input when you're on the show, Colin. Always great to get your perspective on things. Obviously, the GOAT is in the chat. We've got Roy Clark. Welcome in, Roy. Paul Chapman, good evening. He's buzzing for Saturday, the Benmore Derby. It is only days away. The town end has sold out. The Cambridge ends have sold out. They've come to see the town. Although, as Cruncher said earlier in the WhatsApp group that I have with him, he said he knows people who there's more town fans in that end than the away fans. Than the home fans. Ronnie, everyone looking forward to another quality show. 3 Point Saturday is a must. Come on, you Blues. Colin, the Cruncher's in the room. Welcome in, Cruncher. Some absolute buzzing comments coming in. Absolutely love it. Coxie's here. I tell you what, while you're all here, let's have a quick thank you Thursday. A thankful Thursday to these wonderful people. And there are still people to be added to the list. The list has been sent to George to do so. So that should be coming up in the next couple of weeks. But a huge thank you to all of these Ko-Fi supporters. These are our monthly supporters. If you have supported us on a one-off basis, we thank you as well. But these are our monthly supporters. They pay for anything from £5 a month upwards on the Ko-Fi. Links in the chat. There is page 2. Hell of a list, hell of a bunch of people. Truly, they keep the lights on, they switch the computers on, they keep everything just ticking over, tickety-boo. And they find value in us. So thank you for finding value in Talking Town. We do strive, I know myself and all the contributors strive to give you the best show we can. Speaking of which, we've got two giants of the contributor land with us today. My job is quite simple, to be referee between these two that will just slug it out, punch for punch, opinion for opinion, passion for passion. So let's introduce in the blue corner first. He is, of course, the man that has more changes than the weather. He's a flip-flopper, but he's a fisherman. No. Mike Brown with a shortened intro because it's going to change to flip-flop weatherman. Not quite decided yet, but here he is in the blue corner. Man, myth, legend. Is he in? Is he out? Is he on? Is he off?
You can't put me down as flip-flop. I mean, really, that's just abuse.
Nobody puts Mike Brown in the corner. That's what they say. Welcome, Mike. How are you, buddy? You doing well?
Yeah, not too bad actually, mate. I just come back from a nice trip down the East Coast today. So
look at those headphones, says Emerson, the legend that is Emerson further. The weatherman says crunch up with respect. He's working Saturday, so he's missing Cambridge. Oh, Nick, I'll send you some photos. Kevin Gates, evening all. Hope you're all well. Cannot make Cambridge because I've got COVID-19 on Sunday. Oh, Kev, Kev, please rest up, mate. Take it easy. Get better soon. I know it's not the same, but for Kev and for Nick and anyone else that's not going on Saturday, this man here certainly won't be going on Saturday. Talking Town will be live from the stadium before the show, before the game and after the game. Live chat as always. Get involved. It's not the same as being there. I understand that. I appreciate that. But we'll try and bring the game to you wherever you may be. Speaking of a game, Mike, obviously, Tux is in the room. Welcome in, Tux. Saw a wonderful Greek show on Saturday night. Do drop a little blurb, a little review there, Tux, into the chat. Let us know how the Greek tragedy went. But I want to talk to you, Mike, about a game because last night England played Hungary. I want to get your quick thoughts on it. What did you make of the game?
Wasn't great, was it? It wasn't great.
It was shite.
It was shite. Slothgate at his best, really. I can't look.
Well, let's talk about him because that's what I want to talk about with you. Because I know you're a huge Gareth Southgate fan. I know you believe he's the one. I know, actually, I've heard in some quarters you are the Gareth Southgate Appreciation Society secretary. That's what I've been told. To sit down Talk Sport, they said about what sort of Premier League team would Gareth attract if he was to go into club management. I suppose for you, the question is, would it be City or United, do you feel, for Gareth Southgate?
What, Norwich City or Oxford United? Was that what you said? Yeah, I'm sure that's what you said.
What do you think?
Joe, what? Was it, what's his name? I can't think of his name on TalkSport. I watched the
Jordan. Simon Jordan and Jim White.
Simon Jordan, that's it. Yeah. And do you know what? He was absolutely spot on. Do you know what? I'm getting sick of this. Oh, he took us to a semi. He took us to the final. We had the easiest route to get to the final, bar Germany. We had one hard, tough game, and that was against Germany. The rest was just like Mickey Mouse, And then
listen to it.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm fed up of people blowing smoke up Southgate's ass. He would not get a job. He would not get a job at any of the top, probably 8 teams, maybe 10 teams in the Premier League. For me, look. It was great. Yeah, look, well, it was home as well, for Christ's sake. Let's not forget that.
Was it a penalty? No, come on. Don't be so silly.
Look, if you look.
No,
look. The trouble is, look, we don't make the rules now. The rules have changed, haven't they?
We never did.
His foot was high, and... it's dangerous play. And if it's dangerous play, it's a foul. If it's a foul, it's in the box. It's a penalty. I know what Crunch is saying. Look, really.
Are you a referee? Have you got a rest badge?
I referee for youth football right through to adults up until about 2000.
I'm writing to Kellogg because they need to stop putting referees' badges in boxes of cornflakes. I'm telling you that now because that's never a penalty. Never a penalty.
No, I'm not. Listen. 10 years ago, that would never have been given as a penalty. Probably maybe 5 years ago. But the rules have changed. And that's the problem. Right now is the rules have changed. And, that is a penalty now. I'm not saying I agree with the decision because I don't. I don't think it was a penalty. But, but you can't... Look, Hungary just...
They wanted it more. They were hungry.
They were just organised. We just looked. So honestly, if I said on Twitter, I think it was, if Southgate did a dance move, it wouldn't be quick, slow. It'd be slow, sideways step, because that's what it is. And it's, to me, it's like score one goal, hold on to the lead, and job chat. There's better managers out there. Better managers out there that would get better at this squad. You've
seen me dancing again. Your side step stop. Right. Look, that's your sparring session done. You're ready. Let's bring in your opponent in the red corner. She's dressed up for the occasion. She's gone all out because it's Talking Town, the eve of the awards. So she's come dressed, ready for an award presentation. It is, of course, get your swear jars ready. No filter, Yorkshire V. Vicky Henderson, welcome in. How are you doing?
I'm good. I need to say, Mike, what a load of shit. What a load of shit you have just been talking. Gareth's the one. How can you not even think that?
I have a no.
He
not
took
a
us
chance.
to the final of the Euros.
Come
Which
on.
other
We're like the
manager
most
has done
easiest-
that?
We had the easiest route going. If we'd have been in the
Doesn't
other route,
matter.
we'd have been knocked out. We'd have been knocked out well before then. Gareth
Doesn't
Southgate's
matter.
a Mickey
You've
Mouse
still got
FA
to
yes
win
man.
those games.
No,
You've still
he's
got
an
to
FA
win
yes
them.
man.
All right, let's set some ground rules. I want no biting, no scratching, no clawing. Break when I say break. This is going to get heated tonight. I can feel the flames already. Mike, I've got to say, you're just talking shite. That's the first line she comes out with. Boom. Have the jab. Have the jab. Love it. Vicky, are you well?
I'm a man.
Yes.
I could take it. I'll never hit a woman. You know what I mean? Never punt, never throw one back. You know, I'm a gentleman. I take
Vicky,
it on board, Vic.
It was pleasing to see you on Saturday. You made the trip down. How many miles is that trip, by the way?
I don't know. It takes about 3.5, 4 hours.
Wow, 4. So 8 hours in the car with your old man.
Yeah.
But you with those white trainers. But you saw a win, which is the most important thing.
Yay.
You saw the Talking Town family. What was the best bit of the whole day for you? You know, what really I saw your TikTok. Yeah, you didn't have a problem with your lip or your tongue at the start of the TikTok video. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. I thought maybe a allergic reaction or something. I wasn't quite sure. I didn't want to ask. But yeah, what was your best bit?
Oh, it was just a good day all round. I mean, there was a few squeaky bum moments towards the end. You know, I was looking like that. But it was good to see a win, and I think we played really well actually. Apart from when we scored the goal, there was a period of about 20 minutes that we didn't play well. We came out the second half, and yeah, I thought we played well.
Yeah, we seem to find something that we hadn't found before. Maybe a grit, a resolve, and we won ugly. Is that fair to say? I mean, we won it, and we won it quite ugly in the end. You know, and in the sense of the boxing analogy we've going through so far on the show, we dug in and we found that uppercut, that knockout punch from somewhere, because it was at times, as you say, was going sort of to and fro at a point, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we want to play pretty football, which is fine if you're playing a pretty team. But most of the teams in League One aren't pretty, and they're coming the dirty, and that's where we get unstuck, I think.
It's very true. It is true. We've got some lovely comments coming in. We've got Facebook here saying Southgate's tactical limitations were exposed in the Euro final. That's your son, Mike Brown, probably. So you can now pop off to bed. I don't know if it was. It just says Facebook user. It was just a joke if you're not. Mark Typesford, absolute pleasure meeting Vic before the game on Saturday. Oh, it's Vic now, is it, Mark? Look at that. After one meeting, we're losing the C and the Y. Hope your 4-hour journey was a good one after 3 points. Coxie says he thinks the best bit was you flipping me off when you beat Vic on the A14. Hey, something happened on
I
the
wondered
A14.
where that was going there.
Well done. Hey, it's a family show.
Is it past 9 o'clock yet?
Not my family. I wouldn't allow my kids to watch it, but you know, Kevin Gates. She's win 3-1 on a Saturday. Hovercat might remind me of a bloke wearing pink headphones. Because he is a bloke wearing it. I love that comment. Bill Perch, we need to dig in on Saturday. Stephen Parry, I think he's sodden useless and we win Soddle with a Borough failure.
Absolutely.
Well, there we go. But that is the that is the England chat. How did you feel about the game as we round it up, Vicky? What were your overriding thoughts coming away from the Hungary England game?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great game. I will give you that. It was a scrappy game, but we didn't lose. So you got to take the positives.
Yeah, absolutely.
A point is better than nil.
Absolutely. You never foul. You just have learning opportunities.
Part of the game, though. That's the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah, but you didn't have a point for a while, did you?
As soon as you kick that ball, when the first whistle blows, you both start with a point. So they started with a point, and that was all they got at the end of it, because they didn't deserve nothing else. You know, the formation change needed to happen, and it's just stupid, pretty pass back. I
reckon you could be on a sinking boat, get rescued by the Case the Lifeboat Brigade, and you'd still fucking know what took you so long. Like,
I'm sorry, but I'm fed up of this tippy tap back passing type crap, possession type football when it doesn't go anywhere, and that's
what we do, Mike. That's what Ipswich do.
You don't like Booker Town
either. Where are we?
Fucking hell.
And where are we? 14th in the league, struggling to get up the table.
All
yeah,
right.
that's good.
All right, break away for a minute. Break away. Time. Come on, it's getting heated already. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. I knew when I put these things together. I
You
was
only
like,
put us on, Vicky, to stir up. You know that.
I'm like, you've got to be on fine form tonight, Mike, because these two could run roughshed. Cruncher said we won't win anything under Stothgate. So for once, Cruncher and the weatherman agree.
You wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have said that if we had won that final, though.
Well,
you would have all been kissing his ass.
No, not a chance. I never wanted him.
Never
wanted him.
Well, an ass is a donkey, isn't it? I want to. It's that southern-northern divide. I love it. Stephen Parry. We are supposed to be potential World Cup winners. Draws are not good enough with these players. Mike looks like he'll be on Babe Station at 10, says Mark Tuxford. Mark Rattle, good job you're not Spanish, Mike. To get views, that's why Vicky and Mike are on. Yeah, I mean, Lewis is unwell, so big shout out to Lewis Robertson, who's not very well, got the lurgy, so shout him out. I won't say which one of you wasn't on originally, but one of you wasn't. Mike the Cyberman says, Ronnie, Hoovercat, moan. All right, Nana, Mike, there is a Capri in the lounge bar. All right, let's move on. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel, the only channel that gives every fan the platform, the mic to have their say. As you can see right here, we've got the yin and the yang. These two wouldn't agree the sky was blue. They'd still argue it was a shade of pastel or whatever. Dino, you don't want Cookie, but I bet when we carry on doing... So yeah, a bit like Vicky here. You don't want Cookie, Mike, but if Gareth Southgate wins the World Cup, you'll be the first one in line with pictures like you have on Twitter with you and Paul Cook. Which I notice when we win seems to get a little bit of a showing. You know, it's like, look, I met him. Woo, friends.
No, I don't put nothing up. That's always other people that take the old tweet that I had years ago. I can't help it. Do you know what I mean? I have that infectious behaviour on people.
Historic tweets, isn't it?
I think you're doing it for likes, Mike, to be honest.
Don't
I think
tell
it's
everyone.
clickbait.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
Easy now. Right. On to the Ben Moore derby, the Cambridge United game in a matter of days. I want to ask the first question, I guess, which I sort of mentioned last on the preview to this show on Twitter. Is this really a big game, as some are building it up to be? Or is it more of a game like we're playing Cheltenham? We should be viewing it as this is Ipswich Town versus a little club that's just come up. Yes, they'll be up for it, but every team in League One will be up for it against Ipswich. It's a nothing game. It's a game we should be winning. Is it a big game where you take a point already? Or is it really Cheltenham just dressed up in Cambridge clothes? Vicky, what do you think?
It's a big game.
What makes it a big game?
They're all big games because we're 14th in the league and we need to start winning. So they're all big games. And will I take a point? Absolutely, because a point's better than nothing. But I'd like 3.
So if I said to you right now, I've got a time machine just behind this green screen here. We'll jump in it. We'll save ourselves a wasted couple of hours on Saturday because a point is all we're going to get. You would say, you know what, I've got a point right now. I'm taking it. I'm not even going to try and gamble for the 3.
No, I'd want 3, but I'd take 1 because 1 is better than nothing.
Okay, all right. Lee Brown, it ain't a derby. No, it's not a derby. That's why it's the Ben Moore derby. He goes to college with Cambridge fans, and literally he's in my WhatsApp every day. Are we going to win? We need 3 points. You'd think we're playing Barcelona in the Champions League final. Bless him. Love you, Ben. But it's only Cambridge. Mike, what do you think?
I just don't know what to say. Oh dear.
You've stunned him, out for count.
No, if people think that Cambridge is a big game, they give your heads a wobble. It's not. They are Cambridge freaking United. Their ground. We can fit the whole of their ground capacity in probably one quarter of our stadium. With respect, we shouldn't even be worried about Cambridge. We should go in there and we should turn them over. And 3 points is minimum. Anything less than that is an absolute travesty. We've got to get around. We've got to get out of this mediocrity. I keep saying this. Oh, we'll make do with a point. That's not going to get us promotion.
No.
Can you imagine City going to Burnley and going, oh yeah, well it's Burnley, so we'll just make do and get a point there, shall we? I mean, come on, that ain't how football is.
We could have said the same about Markham, though. and we got a point against them.
I weren't happy with it. I weren't happy. I weren't happy at the start. I'm not happy, been happy at all this season, bar maybe 2 games. I thought the Donny game was probably one of the best performances I've seen Ipswich for a long, long time. And then we go and lose to fucking Accrington Stanley, for Christ's sake. That makes sense. You know, I mean, there's no disrespect, right? But if we're sitting there worrying about little Cambridge, well, we might as well go down to League Two and start worrying about teams in League Two.
Mike, we need to worry about every game, every opponent.
No.
Because they'll see it as
should
their...
be winning every game.
They'll see it as their big cup final. And they'll take the game to us. And if we play like we played at Accrington, honestly, we won't get anything.
Absolutely. Totally agree. But we don't settle for a point. You should never settle for a point.
But I said I'd take a point.
Yeah,
not settle.
So take the same thing.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs here at the moment. But what I want to say is that I think Vicky's right in the sense of that, you know, it's their cup final. They've sold out their stadium. The last time they did that was probably 1992. The last time we were probably there. They don't, you know, they've come out for the town, as they say. So it's going to be a cauldron. There's going to be an atmosphere. That's what kind of makes it a bigger game per se, as the cliche. They're all big games. That's what I was trying to sort of ask there, I guess, because it's going to be an atmosphere on Saturday. They're going to be up for it. Lee Brown says it's not a derby, but they're going to view it as close as they can possibly get. Ronnie, I really, really don't want to jinx it, but I think the tide might be turning in our favour. It's definitely a big game. Every game is a big game after the start we've made, as you've said there, Vicky. Ben Moore, we've been so inconsistent, though, Gov. We can't get there. In fact, to win, we need to earn the right to play and play quick football, get it to Bond and go from there. But that, for me, that feeds into Mike's point. That should be a given. You've got the best budget in the league. You should turn up and fight the right to play, because you should be turning up with the expectation that you're going to impose your will, not have their will imposed on you. So that's more a bit Mike's point. So getting through these points here, and we're getting the flavour that, you know, again, like you two, some are saying, you know, Matt Whitting here, another potential banana skin. Need to respect the opposition. Mark Tuxford, Jack Lancaster will be up for it. He will certainly be up for it. Jack, safety guy 20. Got to agree with the Fisherman. We do get very excited at any win. Surely we're not that desperate yet.
Yes, we are.
The good doctor. Definitely have to be up for it ourselves. But if we are, and if we're on it, then no worries for me. Okay, well, there we go. That's not conclusive evidence. There is a link in the chat. Have your say on that point. Is it a big game from your perspective? If so, why? And if not, why? But also, moving on to this next point, you are more than welcome to come on the show and have your say on this one. Chaplin versus Celina. Who is starting in the number 10 for both of you Saturday? Chaplin obviously came in on Saturday. Chaplin came on last Saturday for Celina, who was with Kosovo, but Celina makes his return this weekend, or certainly comes back from that duty this weekend. So who starts in the 10? Have your say now if you want to come on the show. But Mike, this time, kick us off. Chaplin or Burson? Who's it going to be?
I just want to make a little point. I see a great comment in the chat with regards to, you know, points keeps a point keeps us in this division. You know, 3 points gets us promoted, so we should not be accepting anything less than 3 points a game. And if we end up with a point, sometimes against bigger clubs, you kind of accept that. But against low league Cambridge United, no, we should be putting them to bed and concentrating on the next game. Don't take it for granted. You should never take a team for granted, but you should be putting them to bed, get a win now, go on to the next game. But take a point against Cambridge? No, not a chance. Anyway, yes, look. Celina, Chaplin, oh, God. I just find the two different players. Celina's more technically sort of gifted, isn't he? I'd say. Chaplin's more of a get in the box, support the type of player, isn't he? I don't like the idea of Celina playing up the middle behind Bond. I think he's more coming off the right on the left, or left on the right. We need that. I like to have a natural number 10. He's not a number 10. We need a natural number 10 if we're going to play Bond up on his own like we have been. So for me, I would play Chaplin over Celina if based on how he's been playing. He's not been too bad, has he? Let's be honest.
No, he came in last week, Vicky, and did fairly decently. Would you keep with Chaplin, or do you, knowing what you can get out of Burson, obviously against Doncaster, 2 assists, go back to Burson? Where are you with it? Are you agreeing with Mike?
Well, I think Chaplin was outstanding on Saturday. He really, really was, and I really liked the look of him. And I think he's a little bit more scrappy than Burson. So for this match, I would go with Chaplin, definitely. Keep Celina for the bigger matches, the Sunderland, that type of thing. But for this one, I think definitely Chaplin is more scrappy.
Would you be tempted at all, Vicky, in moving Celina maybe out wide to the left so you can accommodate, Celina, Chaplin, and Burns, and relegate Scott Fraser, who has been playing out on the left, to the bench?
Do you know what? Fraser, for me, has not really set the world on fire. I'm not a great fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
I just think from what I've seen, he's not been brilliant. So, but I just don't know whether Celina, Chaplin and Bomb will work. I'm not sure. Okay,
Mike, what are your thoughts on that one?
The problem with Fraser, he's not been given a run in his favourite position. He's more favourable. That's not favourite, a favourable position, which is that number 10 role, isn't it? He's not been given a run there as such. He keeps getting pushed out left by Cook, and for me, I think that's a big mistake. For years and years and years and years, as I can recall watching football and stuff like that, it's always been, fans and players talking about round pegs in round holes. And I think the problem is sticking Fraser out wide, out left, just kind of feels like he's a square peg in a round hole. I think that's probably why he's struggled a little bit. I would like to see Fraser given a role in his more natural position. He hasn't come to town as a poor player. He's come to town because he had one of the highest assists last season. Now, you don't suddenly become a bad player overnight. You do if you're bunged out on the left-hand side, which is not your natural position.
But to play him centrally, you'd have to drop Chaplin. Is that something you would do?
To play him centrally, would I drop Chaplin? I don't know, but look, it's just one of them, isn't it? You'd have to, wouldn't you? You'd have to drop Chaplin if you're going to play Fraser as a number 10. And maybe bring on Chaplin as a direct replacement. You want a number 10. You either start Chaplin, and then as he's tiring, you whip him off and stick Fraser on, or you start Fraser and you whip him off and bring Chaplin on. You've got that. This is what I mean. You've got backup players that can switch, that can play in natural roles that we can substitute when need be. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, as Ronnie says, the fact we have the depth to bring Celina off the bench in any case is frightening in comparison to the previous teams. Mark Tuxford, unfair to say Fraser doesn't offer anything. He put a cross in for one of the goals in his unfavoured position. However, he should be playing in the middle as he was for MK Don. Simon said it won't happen, but this game is set up for Piggott up front with Bond and Chaplin in the free role. We can go direct or long with more success. Mike, I'll come back to you on that one, because I know you're a big 2 up top guy. Excuse the pun. It won't happen. This game is set up for Piggott up front. What do you think of that one?
Not necessarily straight off. I think, Cook's going to be... Cook's going to do what he's going to do. He's always going to keep this formation. His biggest problem with Cook is in-game management. There's times when it's been crying out to bring on 2 players against Accrington. They changed their formation to play for us and completely outbattled, outfought, and outthought us as a team. And you bring on a player when there's literally 10 minutes to go, when it was needed at probably 20, 25 minutes. Look, we play the system, we start the system, and if it's not working, you change the system. Burley had a great success with Ipswich doing that. And sometimes you've got to have good in-game management to be able to change things around. And unfortunately, at the moment, that's where Cook's failing is. I don't know what Peter Reid's going to do coming in, but maybe things will change. I don't know. But okay, I mean, look.
What do you think of that then? You've mentioned Reedy. I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. He comes with a lot of experience. I wouldn't want him as sole manager, but I think he's come in with great. He's got a lot of experience, and it can't be a bad thing. I still think we need a defensive coach at the club. That's been bugging me, like Bill Cook's no left hand, no right hand man beside him. But we can get defensive coaching because defensively we are the 4th worst in the league. So, we might be good goal scorers, but we're leaking like a burst pipe.
Okay, Vicky, Peter Reid, pick it up top there. Lots to sort of address, but Peter, we'll start with Peter Reid, obviously coming in. What do you think about that one as well?
Has it been confirmed?
Well, it's still in discussions, but it's looking 95% like it's going to happen. So if it does happen, what are you feeling positive about it?
I just don't understand what a consultancy role is. Is it for Cook or is it for where? So is that like an upgraded number 2 kind of thing? I don't know.
Yeah, effectively, and I think it's important to recognise, as Mike has often recognised on the show, Roberts and Jefferson are inexperienced. They're young. They're cutting their teeth. Are they in a position to Paul Cook's is their boss, whereas Peter Reid is somebody who has known Cookie for a long time, got skin in the game, got the achievements, etc., etc. It's just that added voice, isn't it, of experience, real experience, and somebody to say, look, what you're doing, you've got Scott Fraser, best number 10 in the last 2 years, playing as a fucking winger. Like, what are you doing? And maybe that will resonate with Cook, and they can have their, arguments and discussions, cups of tea. I don't know, but it is another voice with experience a bad thing.
The thing that Cook is missing, in my opinion, is that he doesn't ever have a plan B. Mm-hmm. He sometimes doesn't even have a plan A. If the game's going well, that's great. If it isn't, I don't think he really knows how to change it, because he's sat on his formation and he doesn't really change from that. So for me, if somebody is coming in as a word in his ear to say, here's plan B, C, D, E and F, that's a good thing. Has to be a good thing.
Yeah, extra pair of eyes to review the game tape with and talk it through, and obviously as he was on Saturday, sit in the stands, and as somebody says here, as Simonson says here, like the idea of someone sitting up in the stands watching the game, completely different viewpoint than the touchline, and that's very true. Great point from Emerson. Piggott up top with Bond. Would you go with the 2 up top? I know Cook won't. It's high in the sky. It's a great comment from one of the name has escaped me. Would you go with it? If it was you, would you go because it's a hustle, bustle, fighting too, and it's going to be a fight? Do you think? What's your thoughts?
Why not?
Why not? Good point. Why not?
You've got to try these things. You've got to try them.
Well, that's true.
But
go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, for me, the striker, the scoring isn't an issue. It's the defence. Like Mike says, and I will agree, we do have to tighten up on that. We are letting in far too many goals. So it's not that we're not scoring, we are scoring. It's great. We're scoring every game, but we are letting in too many.
But is that something, do you feel, and the chat feels, and again, come on and have your say if you want to, link is in the chat, but is that maybe a symptom, a side effect of being so free-flowing and scoring, that you are going to leave yourself open to counter-attacks, open to spells where you give the ball away in dangerous areas when teams are pressing you, and just as fans we have to sort of sit here and say, do you know what, this is the new Ipswich. They may score 1 or 2, but our philosophy is very much Kevin Keegan, Joe Royal. You score 2, we'll score 3. You score 4, we'll score 5. Is it maybe a symptom of being so free-flowing, do you think, Vicky?
As long as we do score 1 more than the opposition, yeah. But as it's been the case, we're not doing that. So that's the problem.
Well, we haven't lost a tremendous. I mean, we've drawn a few games, and I have to look at the league table to refresh myself. But I feel like that there's been times we haven't got those goals that, as you've said. But I'm just trying to sort of ascertain, how do we stop conceding these soft goals? Because from my point of view, Mike, it's been a lot of sloppy passes when the team's high pressing and or caught on the counter attack. And I'm just wondering, if we want to have the free flowing goals, you have to sort of say, well, we're going to be a little bit leaky. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, right, Cook praised Morsey for coming in, and he said, look, when Morsey comes in, we'll be more solid and all this lot, right? And against Donny, we had absolute, control when it comes to any attacks that they gave us. The problem since has been that he's not really sat and held enough. He started to get forward, and that's what happened against at the weekend. There was times when he was in the box and we were getting hit, and I was just thinking, in their opposition box, I'm thinking, look, that's too. If you're a holding midfielder or a midfielder that's breaking up play to protect the back two or back three, depending who's, then you need to keep that role. You need to sit in that role and mop up as the ball's cleared out, but you can't be in the 6-yard box or can't be in the 22-yard box, supplying strikers. That's what you have the people in front of you. You need, if you're a holding mid, you need to stay. That's what happened when we had Harper and Evans in the midfield. They kept going up, and we had no defensive cover. Morsey that's been brought in to do that, to break up play, to hustle and bustle, has done exactly what Evans and Harper did at the weekend, and ended up, even against Accrington and Shrewsbury, both times. That I was surprised that we didn't play well at the weekend. I was surprised we got the result, because there was a time when I thought, this is going to come back and bite us in the arse, because we just kept leaving too much space in front of the two centre backs, and you can't do that. You need that little triangle of protection.
But Cruncher says in the chat that you defend from the front. Then Tuxford says Shefki Kuchi, excellent defender from the front. Then that goes back to what the poster was saying regarding Bond and Pigott. Bond's a great finisher. We'll get to him in a second. But is he offering enough defensively? Because obviously, if they're saying you defend from the front and we're leaving ourselves open, are we leaving ourselves open because your midfielders that you're referencing there are stepping further forward because the front line isn't doing... And that's not just Bond, that's Chaplin or whoever plays behind Bond. Is that fair, or is that go back to the original point about Pigott? I'm trying to make sense of it all.
I think we are losing the ball in midfield. That's where it's breaking down. And Morsey was, like Mike said, brought in as a cure for everything. And I haven't seen that of him yet, apart from the Doncaster game. Is not the powerful centre midfield that we were kind of hoping for. He hasn't had that presence yet.
That's because he's been getting forward too much, in my opinion. I think he's getting just getting too far further forward. As if you're playing with two holders, and one goes forward, one sits. And if that other one that's not sitting goes forward, then the other one has to come back. You've got to have cover for your two centre backs while your right back and left backs are getting forward and pushing their full backs forward, and then your midfield, your attacking midfielders pushing forward to support striker or strikers. You've got to have that diamond of your two centre backs and a holding midfield to protect you, because if you play against one striker, if you play against a team playing 4-3-3, there's always going to be three attackers to 4 attackers on you. So you've got to have that protection. And Morsey hasn't. Yeah, I agree with Crunchy. Morsey is class, but he's only class if he stays and does his job. If he goes forward and tries to, then he's just leaving massive gaps in the midfield, and that's what happens. We lose for Accrington, and we manage an ugly win against Shrewsbury.
Okay, we've got obviously Crunchy 76, Morsey's class. Mark Tuxford, great point here. Trouble is, if Bond thinks more about defending, does that not take away a lot from his determination to score at the right end of the pitch? Great point. But Josh is baffled. People haven't been impressed with Morsey. Morsey played 3 games and we're criticising his quality. No, I think Vicky was saying she's not seen it yet. It's fair to say. I'm not as high on Morsey as some people are in the chat. Fishing with Nick, from my point of view, Evans isn't contributing enough. So the midfield is the issue, and
the hat trick is not contributing enough. Then,
well,
I mean, sorry, that
in one game,
one
game,
but it's still a hat trick. It's a hat trick that no other person in the team's got this year.
I think
it's one game.
Yeah, but I think Ben's nailed it a little bit here. I think because obviously, as I've said this before on the show, we don't press in packs. We press as ones or twos, and then we get picked off by triangles, as Mike was saying earlier. And then the other team are away, and then you've got Morsey and Evans, sort of, Jon Snow type battle of the bastards, where they just stood there with the opposition coming towards them. But that will come, you feel, maybe, as a team and more time on the training ground, you develop that press, you develop those tendencies. Tuxford, Morsey is arguably our most important player. Take him out of the side, and we look like we did at the start of the season. Mike D, a hat-trick against the Dog and Duck Fisherman. Stephen Parry, some of Evans' crossfield balls are unplayable. So yeah, a lot of question marks. Obviously, we'll see how how it progresses. But hey, it could be pressing. It could be a symptom of being too attacking, which can be a thing. Speaking of, we'll go to the goalie next. I don't know if Christian Walton's back, but Friday, Cook said he'd be on the grass this week. If he's fit and ready to go, is it Christian Walton for you two, or one of you, or is it Hladky still keeping his place in goal? What do you think, Vicky?
It's really difficult to answer that, and I think I've said it before on the pod. I haven't seen enough of Walton to make that decision. All we've seen of him was when he let in 5 goals. Yeah. So, unfortunately, because of that, I can't form any other opinion of him. I haven't seen him in any other match, in any other team. I just saw him on that one where he let in 5 goals. Mm-hmm. Hladky, unfortunately, is letting in goals every game.
Yeah, but the goal Saturday, you couldn't do a lot with that.
No, I mean, that was a good goal. He couldn't do anything
finish.
with that.
Took it well.
Yeah.
So...
But it's difficult Yeah. How can we judge Walton on one game when he let in 5 goals?
Well, this is it. The thing is that you're going to have to, because obviously there will become a time, Mike, when that decision will be made. And is it now becoming difficult? Because I know what Crunch is saying here, Walton brought in as a number 1. But if you make the switch and you lose, does it put him in a difficult position where, Tuxford says Hladky deserves a run in the side. Pointless changing it. Winning side, winning formula. Exactly what I was sort of referring to there. Mike D, Walton in for me. Hladky at full for Accrington. Simon Harris, ideally with Coulson and Vincent Young going forward and playing well in both boxes, will improve the team. Josh Walton has to come in. Neil Perks, £5. Thank you very much, Neil. Good luck tomorrow, cracking pop-up. We thank you very much, my friend. Truly, thank you. You're a big part of it as well. But Mike, Hladky, Walton, Hladky, what are you doing?
I don't really see what Hladky's done wrong in the last 2 games. People saying he was at fault for the second. What's name? Really? So them 11 players in front of him had no time to try and stop that ball or try and stop the passes to get to where in that position. For me, he's done nothing wrong in the last couple of games. I know that he had a bit of a shaky start, and but to say that a lone player's coming in to be a number 1 keeper, that's just a little bit, really. Look, I think he's come in to push him, and I absolutely agree with that. I mean, Hody's never going to start unless both them keepers are injured.
I think I've got
thank God for that.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. You're absolutely spot on there, Vic. Yeah, I agree. But for me, I think Hladky's got to keep his place. At the end of the day if he has a bad game against Cambridge, that's his to lose, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the bottom line, isn't it? That's his position to lose. I would stick with Hladky this week. And who knows, I could improve him. And I think it's no good saying we brought in Walton as a number 1 when he's a lone player. Let's be honest, he's not going to be here next season.
I think he was brought in as a player that Cook could trust because he knew all about him, knew his weaknesses, knew his strengths at a time when Hladky was really struggling, and Cook needed the players he trusted, the Morseys, the Evanses, those players, because it wasn't going well for him. It still isn't to an extent, but he needed that desperately. And sadly for him, Walton got injured, but Hladky has sort of used it as a chip, as a fuel, and he's really, compared to where he was start of the year, Vic, sort of, done a whole 360. He's turned it right around, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's just
not good.
I can't compare him to somebody I've only seen once that let in 5 goals. And yes, you could blame the team for that as well, but ultimately he is the goalkeeper. which means he should be keeping the balls out of that.
Which means
net.
like a striker missing the shot, when he makes a mistake, it stands like a sore thumb. Stephen Parry, think Walton will play Hladky like Akram was weak. But yes, but last point, Hladky Saturday for me was phenomenal. He came for balls, he commanded the area, he took pressure off the back line when it needed to be done. It'd be really, really tough on the lad. We've got Andy Gray. Do Hladky and Bursant share a room? Celina. Love it. Paul Chapman. Andy Gray. That's brilliant. To be honest, why play a loanee keeper unless we're planning to sign him? Ben Moore. Then after a while, the crossfield, he's talking about Lee Evans. Harry Butcher. Keep with Hladky, deserves to be to stay in this team. Harry, I hope Malta is treating you well, my man. Tuxford. Anyone got Sereni's number? Ben Moore, Walton more of a leader, but Hladky hasn't done anything wrong. He commands the area. See, how have you said Walton's more of a leader after 190? I don't know. Let me know. Stephen Parry, but will it be PC's call? We don't know. Deal long term, but Walton's not on the cards. We shall see. Coxey, throw his toys out the pram, Tux. Matt Whitting, no point in making a changing the goalkeeper whilst we're trying to settle the team in other areas. And Josh says out of contract in the summer, so he does well. He'll sign. I tell you what, tough decisions need tough people. They need knowledgeable people. They need, can we say, a goat to make a decision. Colin, the goat, Plum, welcome in, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Gov.
I've brought you in because I need you to have the final say on Hladky or Walton. If they're both fit this Saturday, who do you go with? What are you doing?
It has to be Hladky on Saturday for me.
Okay, there you go. You've heard of the goat. He's seen them all.
No. He's done. He's done nothing wrong. Not really. In this last couple of 3 games, he's not done nothing wrong, and he deserves another shot on Saturday for me. I mean, like Mike quite rightly said. I mean, I sing off the same hymn sheet as Mike as regards this game on Saturday. I mean, everybody seems to be right. If I get a custard pie in my face, I'll be the first one to hold my hands up. But I agree with Mike. It is Cambridge United. I do not fear that game. None of those 15 or 16 players on Saturday who wear a blue shirt should be fearing that game. Paul Cook shouldn't be fearing that game, and neither should the 4,000 or whatever town fans who are going to go to that game. Allegedly, should fear it either. By the way, just give me a second, Gov, please. I've just got. All
right, mate. All right. While he does that, I'll bring him back when he appears back. I love the curtains, by the way. Go. I mean, is that hot pink? Love it. Love it. What are they? Trees or kisses? What on earth?
We are doing a reenactment of the 20th of May. 1981. Okay.
Right.
All right, Millsy. Get up there, son. I'll be all right behind ya. Millsy, I'll be all right behind ya. Where's that pint? Where's that pint?
Colin, are you drunk? Is that vodka?
Where's that pint? Oh dear!
How fucking strong is this?
How many glasses you had? How many glasses you had, Colin?
Oh dear! Me and Crunch have been talking about this for quite a while now. It's a reenactment of the second leg at the Olympic Stadium when Alan Brazil went up the steps in a white dressing gown. But it wasn't Venetia's, by the way. It wasn't Venetia's.
Well, you don't you don't know that it wasn't.
No, that's right.
The Hugh Hefner of Talking Town. Look at him there. Look. Big Hugh. Look at him. Look. Off camera. Oh,
he just needs a big cigar, doesn't he?
Oh,
do you think that suits me, Gov?
Colin, you look absolutely beautiful in it. You really
Does your wife
do.
know you've got it?
The thing is, I can't believe, Mike, Victoria and Gov, I can't believe I've got in I can't believe I've got in a size 10 dressing gown. Because that is my wife's size. And size 8 to 10. I can't believe I've actually got in it, but there you go.
Well, you
Yeah.
better give
Anyway,
her a back.
back.
She's probably off camera shivering, poor girl. Go and give her a dressing gown back.
No, she's fine.
Did you go and rob your missus? Oh, Venetia, give me the dressing gown. Turf her out of bed. Boom. Stick it on.
Going back to the game.
He could have turned up in a nice silk one, couldn't he? Let's be fair. It could have been a lot worse.
Oh dear. Going back to the game on Saturday, let me ask you a question then, Gov. Are you worried about the game?
Am I? No. I'm going to turn up there, stick my camera right outside the main gate. Fuck off.
What about you, Victoria?
I'm not worried.
No, I'm not. No. I mean,
I said that you take a point over nothing.
Like I said before, Vic. If I said I wasn't half concerned about the game, I'd be lying, because it's a place where if you do concede the first goal, which I don't think we'll concede personally on Saturday, but if we do concede the first goal, it's the kind of place that can rock, and because it's small and they're all on top of you, it can sound a lot more people than it actually is. But I personally don't think. I think we'll get 3 points from that game. In fact, I think the 3 away games that we've got coming up, I wouldn't be surprised if we go undefeated in all 3. I'm not saying we're going to win all 3, but I think I'll go on record as saying I think we're quite capable of going undefeated in those 3 games. And like you said earlier on, Victoria, about us being 14th in the league. Yes, my dear, we are 14th in the league. But you've got to remember, before that we were 17th, before that we was 19th, and I think we've been nearly getting on for the best part. Well, if we'd have lost one game, I can't remember which it was. I think it was about 3 games. I think it was the Lincoln game. If we'd have lost that game, I think we could have went bottom. So,
well, what is shoulda, coulda?
Yeah, but no, what I'm trying to say is, Gov, we are going the right way.
The trouble is, Colin, it depends what team turns up, because if it's the same team that turns up at Accrington Stanley that's expected to win and we just don't try, that's when problems happen, and that's what happened at Accrington.
Victoria, I would hate to say, and I'm not saying it because you've just said it, I would hate personally to say, or I'd hate to think that any team, doesn't matter whether they wear blue, yellow, red, black, or God knows what colour, I'd hate to think any professional team doesn't try.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
as someone says, Colin,
the reason I say that, Victoria, is because, like, for example, next Tuesday, me and Rich are going down to Pompey. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm going down to Plymouth. Now, if I ever heard of any player going into any game not trying when people travel 3, 4, 5, up to 6 hours to go and watch a game, and I heard a player just couldn't give a toss. No, I don't. No, I'm not going with that, Victoria. I'm not going with that. I think they just got beat fair and square at Accrington, and they just weren't up for it. There's a difference, Victoria, between not being up for it and not trying. Trust me, there is a difference. Trust me.
I stood there for 2 hours in the pissing rain. I know a team that doesn't try.
To be fair,
you're right. Okay, Victoria. If you say to me, I didn't go. If you're saying to me, Victoria, and I like you a lot, if you're saying to me that team didn't try, that's your prerogative. I wouldn't say that personally, but that's your opinion.
I just want to say, as Graham Tate pointed out, you did say after Doncaster that it was a warning to the league. So you have been wrong before, but we'll take what you're saying, We'll take what you're saying. But as during the prediction moved, I want to get your thoughts on the prediction league this week, week 9. Only 4 fixtures up for grabs. Link is incoming. We've got Cambridge, obviously, versus Ipswich Town, the Ben Moore derby. Coulson versus Harrogate. Westerfield versus Trinity Red Devils. And Norwich versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Go. Talk to me about the Ipswich Town B team versus Harrogate. What do you fancy for that one? What do you think?
Harrogate going very, very well. I'd go Colchester 1, Harrogate possibly 3.
I like it. All right. All right. Go on.
Harrogate are playing really well, Gov.
And Colchester are playing with Ipswich Town B team players. So that says its own story. I'm surprised they're going to get a goal, though. But Mike, talk to me about Norwich versus Brighton. What do you think about Norwich?
God. I just don't think. I mean, I don't know. I just can't see. I can't see Norwich getting a win. And I would want them to either. I'm hoping they're bloody. I think it's going to be probably a 0-0 or 1-1, something like that.
0-0
or Norwich will
1-1.
lose.
Well, that's sitting on a fence, unlike you, Mike Brown. I mean, normally.
No, I'm just saying. Look, I want Norwich to lose. So I'd love Brighton to beat them. So I personally, you really why'd you give me Norwich? All the teams, you give me bloody Norwich.
All right. Tell me Westerfield versus Trinity Red Devils. Impart your knowledge on me of your SIL. Tell me all about that game then, Mike.
Trimley have done quite well away from home, haven't they? From what I recall. Yeah.
So not doing too bad.
I could see an away winning that one. Probably a 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah. Potsy, who's the Westerfield manager, he gets his players motivated. He's a very passionate guy, a bit like you, Mike. Yeah. So who knows? Vicky, prediction league table, you are still hanging in there with 6 points. You're just there behind Tom Judges, but ahead of Mike Davey. Don't forget, top 10 as of the 30th of October are entered into a draw for FM 2022. If it's congested like it is currently, I'll take all the people on the same points. So Vicky, make sure your prediction's in because you're very close there still.
It's in. I've already done it.
Love it. Taylor Paul, a very consistent player in Houston there on 12 points, only entered 4 weeks ago. So it shows you how well you can do. Ben Moore on 12. Part 2 is just there. I have got to adjust one score. I'll do that over the weekend. I had a message today, and thank you very much for your kind message. And there is page 3. And Matt Phillips is still all the way at the bottom with a big fat 0. 0 for the
That's
Phillips.
The only time Matt Phillips will be on page 3. By the way, Gav. By the way, Roger Osborne used to manage Westerfield.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and used to play for him. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's great knowledge. I'm not sure how it help our prediction league players, but it's good to know for future reference. But yes, big up Adrian Croucher, £5 super sticker. Go before I let you go in your Hugh Hefner robe. You're going to Cambridge. Tell me the score prediction for Cambridge, please, my man.
0-2.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Goat, you are a legend as always. Look after yourself.
Victoria, by the way, can I just say, I just want to say something to Victoria. Nothing, absolutely nothing I said to you this evening, my dear, was personal.
Oh, no.
Absolutely nothing. No. I have to say that because, I would hate to think, and not because you said it, I'd hate to think that any team that wears that lovely blue jersey is not trying. I mean, when you get people like B up top, he'd be looking down and thinking, so-and-so wearing my 6 shirt, or so-and-so wearing that 9 shirt, Paul's X shirt. Do you know what? I've got a funny feeling they ain't trying. I don't think Beat would be liking it, and I don't think PM would be liking it. No, any team that pulls that blue shirt on, I'm hoping they're going into that game, even a game that perhaps maybe they're odds on to lose. you always go to to win and a very close second to win for those supporters, if not equally.
Absolutely.
And I'd hate any player. I don't care whether they play for Colchester reserves, Manchester United first team. Every player who pulls a jersey on should be playing for those people who pay their wages.
Absolutely.
Every
Colin,
time. Every time.
You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT for a reason. We love you. Look after yourself. I don't think Vicky gets that offended that easily, though, do you, Vicky?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Pride, Passion, Belief says Tuxford, Monty. I remember standing near Roger Osborne in the mid-90s. Who'd watching the game in the North Stand. Andy Gray. There'll be some Abbey Cambridge fans Saturday. Tuxford, GOAT loves a flirt in his Hugh Gaff coat. Absolutely. Got to love the Hugh Hefner GOAT. Mike, Saturday, score prediction, my man.
I'm going 3-1. 3-1 Town. I think. Look, I think. Do you know what will happen? I think we'll go 2-0 up. Mm-hmm. We'll concede just for half time or just after half time, and then we'll bang in a third. I just think we should be. Look, I think we on paper and in realistic terms, we should be far too strong for that Cambridge side. And look, it's going to be hard for Jack and his dad, because Dad's an avid Ipswich Town fan. Jack's playing for Cambridge. It's going to be that awkward one, isn't it? I like Jack Lancaster as well. I want him to play well, even if we beat him. We're going to beat Cambridge, I want him to play well. I like the lad. But, again, I do think 3-1 Town. I think, like I said, we'll go 2. Yeah, we'll probably go 2-0 up. They'll probably get one back, and then we'll bang in a third.
Okay. All right. Vicky, your thoughts?
2-0 to us.
Clean sheet and 2 goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. Okay. We've got Yes Cruncher, absolutely spot on. Massive shout out and best wishes to David Brooks, who was diagnosed with cancer today, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, I believe. Sending him love and support from all the TT community. Absolutely not. Absolutely. You can absolutely beat this, David, without a shadow of a doubt. You're going to smash it. George, it's a myth that professional football players don't try. Andy Gray, anyone knows who the top goal scorer in the top 4 division is? Probably Macaulay Bond. I don't know. I don't actually know. Neil Perks, if we're up for it, we'll win it. End of. Second Nats Crunch says Tuxford. Jono, need Edwards to produce a goal this weekend. Nick says Ipswich 4, Cambridge 1. And Monty's going for a 1-1. I just think we're all still a bit fragile. So we're doing this show on a Wednesday, because obviously tomorrow night we are at the FCA Content Awards in London. I'm really looking forward to it. A huge thank you to the people that have combined together to put us there. I will be saying thank you personally myself. Just keep your eyes out for that. Huge list. But I think it's a really important thing to say that whatever happens tomorrow night, we've won already. This is a really important part of my life. It's a fantastic community, a fantastic platform, and the messages I get that say, I don't live near the ground. I'm disabled. I'm not well. And you've brought me back to the football club. You've brought me closer to the football. You've given me some, a voice, things like that. And those mean more to me than anything ever will, because it's just what it was designed to do. But I always say, and I've not written anything down, as you can tell. This is all from the heart. So it can only go one way. But I want to say a huge thank you. And I had to write these down because we've just got a fantastic team too. Mark Dowling, Adam Joker Flap, Luke the Scout Penning, and then the more regular contributors such as Tom James, Ben Adams. I've written this down because there are a great team. Graham Brooke, Kate Riley, Peter Coxey, Bricktop, Curtis Yates, Mark Tuxford, Steve Thompson, Amy Downs, King Callie, Jordan Hockhold, No Filter V, yourselves, of course, and the Fisherman there. Nowhere else do I think you would ever get such a representation of opinions, like tonight, for example, where you've got two people that vehemently love something so much, but disagree about how or what is the best thing for that. But here we are. You've got a voice. You've got a platform. We're talking it out. We've got the the chat there as well, putting their comments in. Then we've got the newbies: Ash Simmons, Lewis Braveheart Robertson. I'll give his full name, of course. You know, the Scotsman that's never seen Scotland. We've got the designer, you know, George Nunn, the guy who makes everything look the bee's knees and just taking us to another level. You've got the two guys who started it all with me: Neil Mould with positivity, Rob Davies, from my back dining room to what we are now. And then, of course, you've got the two people that have been in the trenches, to nick one of his sayings, day in, day out. They've pushed me, they've questioned me, they've supported me, they've caused me issues, but I wouldn't change them for the world. And that's, of course, Matt Phillips and Richard Moss. Wouldn't change them for the world. They've been with me every step of the way. And of course, all the contributors through Ko-Fi. I mean, I say it every week, but honestly, the lights wouldn't even be switched on without you guys and girls. We wouldn't be sat here talking about football at Ipswich Town without you, because it would be impossible. So thank you so much. If you've ever donated, ever contributed, ever done anything through Ko-Fi, because we've given you value and given you a voice, I thank you so much for that. It is a we, not a me. I say that every time because it truly is. And if I could take all of you, and that's all my contributors, all of the chat, with me tomorrow to the FCAs, I would. I wasn't even going to go myself.
We will be there with you in spirit.
And I wish
anyway.
you were. I wish you were. I just felt I couldn't ask, what was £150, I think, for the ticket, hotel, travels, whatever. Just felt it was a bit much to ask. We are going to have a party. I am organising a get-together for all the contributors, the community, a chance for us all to come together and say, you know, hello, first of all, have a drink, have something to eat, and we just celebrate together as a community, and a family does. But truly, thank you all, contributors. You're amazing. You're argumentative. You're passionate. You challenge me every day to be better than I was yesterday. And I thank all the community as well for being with us and talking to us. Otherwise, it'd just be us three arguing to ourselves. It truly means a lot. Whatever
Good
happens
luck for tomorrow.
C'est la vie. But this is Talking Town. I am the Gov. That is No Filter Yorkshire V. That is the Fisherman, Mike Brown. And this is an FCA finalist presentation of Talking Town. So until Friday at 8:30 for our press conference reaction show, it is...
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding